Good morning, flower friends. We are going to take a look at what flowers are thriving in this extreme heat we've all been experiencing across the country. Now, I have a lot of self-seeded, hardy, perennials, biennials, and even some annuals that I'm going to share and show you how they just come through this. It's like they're native to it. So let's take a look at what's blooming beautifully during the heat. And many of these are very drought tolerant or will take lower water. So that's very important here in California. And so you'll get the best of both worlds. You'll get beautiful blooms and not have to use a lot of water. So let's start our tour. Let's start with this beauty. This is Acelia or Yarrow. This is a pink version. I'm not sure if this is Cerise Queen, but it may be. I started this from seed, but I've noticed that a lot of garden centers are carrying these different colors of Yarrow. I do need to stake this up. It's starting to get top heavy and flop, but it's just gorgeous and takes the heat. And the bees love it. As you can see, there's a little bee fluttering around it. Next up is Echinacea. Now, I have several varieties of Echinacea. This might be the Magnus regular pink, or I do have just the native pink coneflower, which they do beautifully as well. This will reseed, and I will get many seedlings coming up and I can transplant them, what have you, to other areas. Black-eyed Susan, another trooper in the heat, and it looks beautiful. Drought tolerant. All three of these are drought tolerant once established. When you first plant them, you got to keep them watered, and then they take it from there. I'm going to turn around. I got a bee trying to get my screen. I'm going to turn around very slowly. Well, not very, but Agastache. Look at this. This is also called Hummingbird Mint. And the other day I was doing this and the hummingbird came and was sipping from it, which proved my point. But that one also takes the heat. In fact, they love the heat. So, Monarda Bee Balm. I just bought a shorter one this year. Whoops, almost tripped. To plant in the front because these will get very, very tall, which is great in these borders. But I wanted beds them to grow a bit shorter. So I bought one. It's called Pardon My Purple by Proven Winners, and it's doing well. Here's a purple rooster getting started down here. And in the back, they're as tall as the red one, which is Jacob Klein. And doing beautifully. Let's see. Oh, Microcosmias. These ones start about this time of year, and they do great. They don't bloom through the whole season. They have, I wouldn't say a short. They do bloom quite a long time, but it's not like they don't get a rebloom, is what I'm trying to say. Here's another one of my cone flowers, which I love. This one is Katie Saul, or also Summer Sky. And funny enough, I have a friend who is named Katie Saul. I gave her one. I don't think she was able to keep it alive, so I'll probably get a division of this. This will not come true from seed. I'll get a division of this, and I will give her another one. She's starting a new flower bed. So now, many of my roses are doing pretty good, but I know in hotter areas they would scorch and stop blooming. But this area gets afternoon shade, so they do okay for me. Here's another. This is a shorter growing. I got this at a nursery last year. A short dwarf yarrow, which I'm loving it. So I got some here, and I got some a little further down in the bed. I have to say, the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. This one, probably 3 weeks ago, I shaved it back. And look, it's reflushed, all new blooms, and it's doing beautifully during this heat as well. Many of my daisies do just fine. As you can see in here, Salvias, There's this one back here is a Rockin' Blue Suede or something. That's a proven winner's one. It came back from last year. I didn't know that it would because I'm kind of on the border of its hardiness zone. And but this one, it got mulched very, very deeply and it came back, which I'm thrilled. This one is Mystic Spire Salvia. I'm loving this one because it started blooming very early. So I had these beautiful blue flowers early on. And I'll take you over here. Let's see. We'll walk down to my little cottage patio. And these are Erigeron, or this is the Erodiums. These might be the Erodiums. I found these at a local nursery and they just bloom all summer long. The heat doesn't seem to bother them. They do get afternoon shade here, and they're in sand. Here's the white ones, and over there's the pink ones. And they create a nice little mat, and they just keep on blooming. Let me turn here. I keep this deadheaded. This is Rose Campion, and this is also a self-seeder. And when you deadhead it, it'll keep blooming just beautifully. But another winner hasn't even blinked an eye in this heat. Verbena Bonariensis. That also has been just blooming great. And it will also, it'll reseed. Oh, a lot of people consider it a bully, but I just pull up the seedlings if I don't want them. See, here's some seedlings right here. I do want them to go ahead and come up here and bloom. This area has been devastated with gophers. In fact, I had some oriental poppies in here that were doing beautiful and came out one day and they were dead. And I pulled them up and they were toast. They had no roots left. I could not save them whatsoever. All right, let's go see some other heat-hardy plants. Now, we all know zinnias can take the heat. Mine are very late this year. I sowed them direct, and I do that usually every year because it just works better for me. And this year, I had some real issues. Well, June, it was warm, and then it turned very cold, and then it turned back warm again. And then the ones I did in front, which is where I had really wanted the most, bugs ate my seedlings. So it's been a very poor year for zinnias, but usually these are stellar in the garden in the summer heat. The bees are loving the Gara. Look at, and it's doing just fine. Here's some more coneflower. These ones, I love the white. Beautiful pop of white in the garden. Sea holly. Sea holly does beautifully in the summer heat. This one's kind of tipped over because the buddy next to it, I had two planted here, they're eaten by the gophers. So I sprayed this area with my castor oil mix. Hopefully that'll take care of the gophers here. We can't forget petunias. My petunias do beautifully in the heat. This is a wave petunia that I grew from seed. And you can see how well it's planted in this pot with this rose. How gorgeous it's doing. I haven't had it deadheaded or anything. We'll see when I get back from our trip if it will need a bit of deadheading and neatening up. But let's go over here. Forgive the hose. I got everything set up for when we go on vacation so someone can just turn on a hose and it be taken care of. But there is my purple rooster, Monarda, back there. And this is a very hot spot, so it just does fine. I'll show you another climbing petunia that I grow from seed. Look at this one. This is just one plant, and it's down here at the base, and it's climbing up the support and these plants, scrambling through the iris right here and just blooming away. It scrambles here and over here a little bit. You can see that down there. Just gorgeous. This one, Nicotiana. I have 3 different colors of this. This smells heavenly in the evening. You'll be walking the garden, get this scent, and it would be this plant. It releases the scent in the heat of the day or as the evening is cooling down. Gorgeous. The Echinacea is almost opening up or coloring up. this most beautiful, what would the color I would call it? It's a light blue, periwinkle blue. Very much a periwinkle blue. My geraniums are doing pretty good. These are ones I started from seed. I got to get a lot in the ground before we leave for our trip. And down there, some more Verbena Bonariensis that went to seed and came up. So let's go see what we have up front. Okay, this is for sure a summer winner. These are Gallardias or blanket flowers. And these have reseeded themselves in here. These perform their best when it's hot, and they look gorgeous. You keep them dead-headed. These are the little seed heads. They can be quite spiky, so cut them off. They will keep on blooming until first frost. No problem. So I'm trying to find what other things I have in here. I have still some Veronica going, and I keep deadheading it to keep it blooming. Well, over here I will show you, this is my Pardon My Purples getting ready to bloom again. See how much shorter it is? I really like that. It's going to be beautiful as it matures. And Dahlias. My Dahlias right back here are just getting started. I need to provide some support for them and pray the gophers don't eat them. They ate one of mine in the back. And this poor butterfly bush, which they usually do really well in the heat too, that had spider mites, and I've been spraying it, so I need to continue on with that treatment. My wave petunias are just looking gorgeous. Now this is a particularly hot spot because it's up against the wall that reflects a lot of the afternoon heat, and they are just coming through it like champs. The same with my little containers. I did a video on planting these up, and I was explaining how I didn't want super petunias or even wave petunias in here. I wanted something that would stay more compact and play nice with all the other flowers and plants. Now, lamium is trying to get a little rampant, but I'll just come in and cut it back so that it doesn't take over. And I really think that the little purple flowers that it has is a nice little foil for the orangey pink of the petunias, but they're doing gorgeous. Oh, I have to say, this is my first time growing Alstroemeria. This is a dwarf one. I am loving it. It's just continued to bloom. I got this at Costco. They had several colors, but I wanted the orangey to go with all of my orangish tones on the back deck. And I have been impressed, though this does get shade half of the day, so I don't know how well it would do in extreme heat because I wasn't going to take a chance. And that, my friends, is the plants around here that bloom like crazy even when it gets really hot. So I have to qualify that statement. Really hot around here is mid to upper 90s. And we have very relatively low humidity. That's what makes the fire danger so high in California, is the low humidity. But so I hope to see you in my next video. And what do you grow that is really heat tolerant, that just performs well no matter what the temperature is? And I'd like to know. So leave me a comment in the comment box below. All right, I'll see you in the next video.